The world watches nervously. Will nuclear weapons be used? It's a question that haunts us. Predicting the future is impossible. But we can look at the forces at play, and right now, the risk of nuclear war, while real, remains low. One reason for this is MAD, or mutually assured destruction. This grim logic underpins nuclear deterrence. In simple terms, it means if one nation uses nuclear weapons, others will retaliate. The result? Total annihilation for everyone. No one wins a nuclear war. This understanding has prevented large-scale nuclear conflict for over 70 years, but MAD is not a guarantee. It relies on rational actors. Leaders must act logically, even under extreme pressure. And as we've seen throughout history, human beings don't always behave rationally. Furthermore, MAD only works if countries believe in their ability to retaliate. This leads to a dangerous arms race, with nations constantly trying to outdo each other in terms of nuclear arsenals. It's a deadly game with the highest possible stakes. The world recognizes the danger of nuclear weapons. Over the decades, nations have come together. They've signed treaties to limit the spread of these horrific weapons. The most important is the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons, or NPT. The NPT aims to prevent new countries from getting nuclear weapons. It also encourages disarmament. The goal is a world free of nuclear weapons. Another key agreement is New START, which limits the number of deployed nuclear warheads that the US and Russia can possess. However, these treaties are under strain. The US and Russia, the world's biggest nuclear powers, are locked in a new Cold War. Trust is eroding. Arms control talks have stalled, and some countries, like North Korea, continue to develop nuclear weapons in defiance of international law. Treaties are not perfect solutions. They require constant effort and goodwill, but they provide a framework for dialogue and cooperation. Without them, the risk of nuclear war would be even higher. The world is a dangerous place. Multiple conflicts simmer around the globe. Several involve countries with nuclear weapons. These situations are like tinderboxes, where even a small spark could ignite a larger conflagration. The most volatile standoff is between India and Pakistan. Both countries have nuclear weapons and a history of conflict. Another flashpoint is the Korean Peninsula. North Korea's unpredictable leader, Kim Jong-un, continues to test missiles and threaten the US and its allies. Then there's the war in Ukraine. Russia's invasion has heightened tensions with the West to levels not seen since the Cold War. Russian President Vladimir Putin has made thinly veiled threats about using nuclear weapons. While these are likely intended to deter NATO intervention, the risk of miscalculation is real. It's important to remember that even a small-scale nuclear conflict would be devastating. The use of even a single nuclear weapon would have catastrophic humanitarian and environmental consequences. It would also shatter the global taboo against nuclear weapons, making their use more likely in the future. Section 4. Accidents happen, the ever-present danger. The world worries about deliberate nuclear war. But what about accidents? What if a technical malfunction or human error triggers a nuclear launch? This may sound like the plot of a Hollywood movie, but it's a real concern. During the Cold War, there were several close calls. False alarms nearly led to nuclear war on more than one occasion. Thankfully, cooler heads prevailed, but the risk remains. Nuclear command and control systems, while sophisticated, are not foolproof. Moreover, the increasing reliance on artificial intelligence in military systems adds another layer of complexity. AI can enhance decision-making, but it also introduces new possibilities for error and misjudgment. The world needs to invest in robust safeguards and communication channels to minimize the risk of accidents. This includes regular dialogues between nuclear-armed states, transparency in military doctrines, and early warning systems. Preventing accidental nuclear war is a shared responsibility that requires constant vigilance. Section 5. So, will the bombs fall? Predicting the future is impossible, but based on current trends, a full-scale nuclear war in the next 2 years seems unlikely. The consequences would be too horrific. Deterrence, while imperfect, still holds. However, the risk of a nuclear incident, whether intentional, accidental, or due to miscalculation, is higher than it should be. Geopolitical tensions are rising, nuclear arsenals are modernizing, and new technologies are adding complexity to the equation. The world cannot afford complacency. We must work together to reduce nuclear risks. This means strengthening international treaties, promoting dialogue and diplomacy, and investing in risk reduction measures. The alternative is too terrible to contemplate. The future is uncertain, but one thing is clear: we cannot simply hope for the best. We must actively work towards a safer, more peaceful world. free from the threat of nuclear annihilation. The survival of our species may depend on it.